Hello, my name is Adoa. I am a personal wellness coach, and I will be sharing something interesting with you all in this video today. Moment of deep breathing. So that's important. It's always good to take a deep breath, especially when we're going to talk about something that could provoke anxiety in others and even in our own self. So, in this video, I am going to go over just a little gist on the way I began therapy or the way I began working with my personal wellness coaching. So, whenever I talk about therapy, it will be psychotherapy. It will not be about anything with social workers, counselors. Like, I don't know their theories. I don't know what classes they have to take, what their specialties are. So, as far as me and my background is psychology, so I talk about things that deal with psychology. So, it will be a lot about behavior, our thinking, which is cognitions, or our cognitive abilities, and our behaviors, what make people do what they do. So, and of course, every professional view things differently. So I may have an opinion, and another psychotherapist have another opinion. It's fine. Just like you have Freud, you have Pavlov, you have Maslow. Like everybody have a different opinion on what makes people do what they do, or where's the behavior caused. What is making? What's the origin? Like what is it? Something in the environment. So, nevertheless, I had stated when I'm making these videos, I'm going to share things that I feel that are helpful. Um, so, I think this might be helpful. So, you may understand sometimes why professionals may ask you particular questions, especially if you're seeing a psychologist or someone, a psychotherapist. Um, so, it's important for me to understand my client. So whenever I'm with a client, especially during the first few sessions, I let the client do a lot of talking. And yes, I do have clients that have a hard time with communicating how they feel or why they're really in therapy. They may go all around, all around, all around. Then 6 months later, you got it. You're like, okay, but it's okay, right? It's okay. Sometimes it's suppressed where people don't know. They just have a feeling or they have a thought. All they know is this behavior is occurring. Um, so I take pride in getting to know a person. So I may ask about childhood. What was a childhood like? And I said may, but that would be like 100% of the time. So personal wellness coaching it's a little different because um, the client is already like no one in my personal wellness coaching business. None of my clients there have major mental crisis. So when people see me as a personal wellness coach, it's more so for positive activities. Okay, so I don't really go into their background heavily. I may ask about strengths, but yeah. So usually, um, if I'm doing psychotherapy, then that's when I'll want to know what was your childhood like, and I'll ask about your parents. I may even ask if you remember any stories you've been told about when your mom was pregnant with you. Um, I'll ask about siblings. I will ask about your relationships during school years, during your school years. That will be important. Some of the issues or problems that bring people to therapy as an adult, it started back in their childhood years. I have this saying that I always say, what you do not, wait, how do I say it? if you have something in your childhood that is unresolved, it would definitely come out in your adulthood years. However, a lot of times it won't come out until you're in a relationship with someone. And a lot of people, well, we all have genes and chromosomes, neurons, everything. So, um, a lot of people are predispositioned to have certain disorders. And if their environment is protected, which means kept at a functional level, um, then they may never even discover disorders that were in them genetically. Versus a person who is in a very chaotic, unhealthy, dysfunctional environment, that person threshold might be very much so weakened to where now they're reacting. And that's where you might see schizophrenia. You might even see bipolar, anorexia, um, ADHD. So it's very important for me to get to know the background of a person because if I'll give an example. If I'm seeing a female, an adult female, and she states to me that she's always been depressed, she don't know why. She was depressed in elementary school, all the way up through college, depressed, but she functioned. She was able to get on medication, continue with her career, but she was depressed. So if I ask her about her childhood and she says her mom was depressed, so that's where the origin comes from. I'll ask how did the mom handle her depression? Like what did you see? What did you learn? How did you learn how to cope? Then I will hear things like just different symptoms they experienced, right? So now this person brought this all the way to their adult years, but in their elementary and middle school, high school, college years, they kind of blame their own self. It's like, it's me. I'm stupid. Nobody like me. I'm not wanted by anyone. My life is doomed. They'll think it's all their fault. But when they attend therapy, they will be able to look at things from a different view. Like, it's not your fault. No, it's not your fault. This is things that was out of your control when you were a child. And yeah, you didn't learn good coping skills. You were under a lot of pressure that you could not control or handle. You were a kid, right? So I would talk to the client in that way. Some clients, I would help them go back to their childhood years. So go back to that inner kid, that inner child that was hurt. Talk to that child, forgive that child, so you can accept your new life as a healthy adult. So that's why I ask about the background. Some people don't experience childhood trauma. Some people experience trauma in their adult years, and that's okay too. I will ask about strengths. Like, obviously, they made it that far, and they, you got to be around some strong, positive people who were very proactive into healthy lifestyles. And so I would take the person back to there um, because that's what they are accustomed to. It's just that we isolate ourselves, and sometimes you enter a relationship and forget who you are. So when you sit and talk to a therapist, it will help you to see, like, wow, I did come from that. Wow, I did used to do that. Wow, okay, okay, look at me. Look at me, okay. So I just want to talk about that. Mainly when you're attending therapy, sometimes it can be challenging. Some people feel like the therapist is intruding in their life, asking too many questions in their business, but it's all about helping you versus making assumptions. It's all about finding out what you want. Where did you come from? What do you like? What are your desires? And the best way to get it is from you. So try to relax. Try to take some deep breaths. I'm wearing this waist trainer, you guys. You see my fat sticking out, but who cares? It's just move on. Okay, so you see a book sitting on my lap. So in therapy, or personal wellness coaching, I will use tools, guides. I will borrow ideas from others. So, being that we're talking about how some therapists will go back into your childhood years, that's what I wanted to mention in this video, okay? This book. I purchased this book on Amazon. As you can see, I've been using it. It's called 101 Trauma-Informed Interventions. Activities, exercise, and assignments to move the client in therapy forward. And it's great. It has a lot of activities. Art therapy, CBT, DBT, EFT, EMDR, energy psychology, Gestalt therapy, guided imagery, mindfulness, psychodrama, sensory motor psychology, movement therapies, mindfulness. Ooh, wait. I really haven't even went through. I mean, this is a lot, but really haven't touched a lot of these chapters. The author is Linda A. Curran. So, what I want to share with you today. So, we're talking about behavior from childhood. Why people do what they do. Why do professionals ask you? Even when you're going to your medical doctor, you may fill out a form that will ask you about your childhood years. When did you start walking, crawling, sitting? That's data. That information, it tells a lot. If a person didn't start walking until they were like 3 years old, or talking until they were like 7, 8, I'm thinking of all the tests or disorders and things that doctors may say if someone were to say their child did not start talking to that later age. But that's good information to know. So what I'm going to hurry up and go through, because I'm already at 13 minutes. Oh my gosh. Should have just stopped this video. But I'll just hurry up because I'm not going through all of this. Okay. So this is the many roles played. So I could use this working with individual clients or in a group. I'm going to read this quote by Jay Moreno. Role plan is prior to the emergence of the self. Roles do not emerge from the self, but the self may emerge from roles. So you think you know who you are, right? Yeah. But depending on life, you may have to flip into another character. Our roles may change in life, right? Different situations might emerge new characters in us. So that's still, okay, so we're still going back to where I'm talking about. So during your childhood years or your adult years, you may realize that you play a role in your family. So think about your behavior and roles that you played in the past or the present. Write them down or talk about them. Okay, so I just altered this whole activity. So even though I borrow people's ideas, I make them my own. So I very seldom would just do everything that they're saying because I think different and I can switch it up because I'm a professional in this, so I could do this, okay? Just trust me. You guys would have never known if I didn't tell you. So, I have a list of, it's not in this book, and I don't have it with me now, but I have a list of different roles, character roles that people play in families, right? You have the scapegoat, you have, I can't think of all those names, but it's like a whole list, I don't know, 8 or 10 or something, different roles that people play. You don't really even know. Different roles is played by the child born first, the child that was born last, the adopted child, the step parent, the all these kind of roles coming into one household or coming into one family changes your role. Okay. Anyways, so some of the questions that this is asking, and like I said, this video we already at 15 minutes, so I'll try to hurry up. What role do you play in the family? Ask yourself that. Why do you play this role? What behaviors are associated with this role? Okay, so I'm gonna skip that because, like I said, time. So it's a lot of more. It's a lot of other questions, but I'm gonna hurry up. Okay. Has your role changed in any significant way? Explain how and why. As your role changed over time, are or were you aware of any patterns that may have emerged? Look at yourself. Are you bossy, controlling, shy, aggressive, playful, friendly, loving, giving, people pleasers? So that's all I have. Because I don't want to make a long video. These videos go by so fast. I swear. Who would have known? So you guys enjoy. Think back to your childhood moments. If it's anxiety provoking or something that will make you feel afraid, don't do it. Speak with a professional. Do it the right way so it can be healthy. If you are in a healthy state of mind, look back at your childhood and just see what roles did you play. What roles are you playing now? Do you have control over these roles? Yeah. So we all play a role in a way, but are we conscious of our roles? Are we doing things that we don't have to do because, like, you're the first kid, the oldest? All right, so that's all I have. Once again, I am a personal wellness coach, and I went over therapy and personal wellness coaching and your childhood memories and moments and what a psychotherapist or a professional may ask you when they sit and talk to you. Okay? So this is not therapy. Talk to your professional about any questions that you may have. I'm clapping my hands when I do this. You know how some women tap their nails like, oh, I got some nails. But okay. So talk to your professional if you have any questions. You can Google some things, but you want to confirm it with a professional. All right, I'm out. Enjoy y'all time.